All right, guys, I just want to show you this first. I have 3 lines of defense that I use to protect my garden from insects, from extreme heat, sun scald, and anything else that can be a detriment to your garden. As you guys see this, I ordered this through Amazon. This right here is called an insect netting. And I created this little hoop structure to be able to hold the insect netting up. And then that way that helps keeps the bugs and with the first line, help keep the bugs and everything off of your garden. And as you guys can see, this right here is a shade cloth. And actually, I use the shade cloth. Shade cloth is a second line of defense to help to prevent your plants from getting exposure to too much sun. It also keeps the crops and everything cooler, a few degrees cooler when you got extreme heat. And the next thing I'm going to show you is the third line of defense, and I'm going to show you what I created to be able to help with those things that you can't cover because they might need to be pollinated, or you might not be able to protect them. So just hold on and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Good morning, YouTube. What's up? It's that fella, T Speller, coming at you with another video. Now check this out. This is the top secret that I told you guys that I was going to tell you about on how I actually go to protect my garden from sun scald, how I protect it from certain funguses, and how I also protect it from insects and things of that nature. So what I'm getting ready to do right now is just show you what my special blend is. Now this is just me, it's not for everybody, but this is just me. What I do in this red container right here, I got a bucket of my Surround Kaolin clay. Right here, I have my triple action neem oil. And what I have right here is my BT. And if you look on the back, you can see where I have it written how many like tablespoons that I need per half gallon. These right here are the size half-gallon containers that I use, and I also got the mixture written on it as far as what I need for my mixture that I use. And since it's called Surround Kaolin clay, and I use other ingredients with it, I call it Claymore. For those that's in the military, you know exactly what I mean. And for the other mixture that I use, I call that Claymore Plus, because sometimes I use the BT spray, sometimes I use the triple action neem oil in different, but I mix them both with kaolin clay, but I put them in 2 different mixtures. And so that way I'll be able to get coverage on one that'll take care of like hornworms, caterpillars, and things of that nature. And then on the other one, it'll give me protection from certain types of beetles and pests and things of that nature. And I'm gonna show you why. If you look at for instance, the triple action neem oil, as you can see, it's a fungicide, insecticide, can you see that? And miticide. I don't have my glasses on, excuse me, y'all. So this right here is what actually, I use this for like my bushes, my trees, and also like my other plants like eggplant, stuff like that. The BT, I use specifically for my tomatoes and anything that can be destroyed by like worms and stuff like that, because this right here is works best. And what I want you guys to know is that everything that I'm using right now is OMRI certified, which means that, you know, they tested it and everything that I use should be safe for my garden. Now, I had a lot of people to say this one time before, and it is funny. Well, man, if your mixture work, man, if you ain't dead, then I'll try it in my garden next year. Well, guys, I'm just here to say that I'm still here and I'm still using it. And as far as I know of, no crazy side effects yet. I don't think I look sick. Matter of fact, I might have got a little bit more chunky, but that's neither here nor there. So hold on. So, other thing I wanted to show you was this. Is that I always keep my kaolin clay in this type of bucket because I want to keep it dry and I want to keep it powdery. I don't want my kaolin clay and everything to be clumped up. Also, what I have out here, I have like my measuring cups, and I use my measuring spoons that I have, you know, for the garden area. And this is strictly for the garden area, no home use. This is going to be strictly for outside. So, to make a long story short, I just opened up my container. It's gonna be kind of tough to open because it's been sealed. Well, not too bad. And what I like to do first, let me make sure I can keep this covered. What I like to do first is that I always try to make sure that I put half of my container full of water first. So hold on one sec. So I open up my container. I take my cup. Hold on, let me get my little funnel. One sec. Okay, guys, so basically I just took a piece of paper, made a little makeshift funnel, so that way I can just get my kaolin clay on the inside. Now, I know I said a cup per half a gallon, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut that down a little bit. I'm not gonna go a full cup. I'm probably gonna go 3/4 cup, maybe 6 ounces, because what I'm gonna be using it for today, like I said, I don't want it to be real heavy, but I want it to give it a nice coat, so I do want it to be milky. Now, what they say you're supposed to use 3 cups per gallon. So since I got a half a gallon, sometimes, you know, they say, so if you cut it in half, it's actually a cup and a half. But what I use a little bit less than a cup because, like I said, for what I'm going to be applying it for is that I want it, you know, I'm going to be mixing other stuff with it, so I don't, you know, put it on there as thick. And plus, I don't like my leaves to be super cakey, just to give it a nice coating to keep the sun scald and the insects off of it. So I just take my cup, dip it in there, and like I said, I go about 3/4 cup. Pour it in there. Shoot, I'm getting more back into the container than I am the cup. I didn't open up the top wide enough. Hold on one sec. And it's good to do this outside because you don't want to be inside making a mess. There we go. So we put that in there for good measure. Oh, Dunderhead, I forgot to put the water in it. It's okay. So I set this down on the ground. I shouldn't have to show you guys how I do this, but I put water in the container. All right, fill it about halfway. And the reason why I do this is because I like to keep it shaking. I just put the lid on there. And it doesn't hurt if you get a little bit of kaolin clay on your hand. Nothing's gonna happen to you. You're not gonna fall out, spaz out. Take that in there, kind of shake it up a little bit. Get yourself a good mix. Make sure you ain't got no clumps or nothing like that in it. Then I'm gonna fill it the rest of the way up with water. All right, take the lid back off. Now, since I'm gonna be hitting my tomatoes first, put it to the side. Since I'm gonna be hitting my tomatoes first, I'm gonna use my BT first. Now, I will share this with you. This stuff stinks. I'm not gonna front. It's got a funky odor, but if it keeps the hornworms and all the army worms and all that stuff off your plant, I say use it. So, is this a new one? Let me see if I got. That's a new one. I don't want to open that one yet. Hold on one second. Let me grab the old one. I still got a BT, but this right here's the Monterey. Shake it up. I know this one is open. All right, here we go. Now, let me see, I got it written on this one. So it says 2 tablespoons to half a gallon. Ugh, I'm gonna be throwing that away. Ugh. Yeah. And that stuff stank. So 2 tablespoons. This right here, the tablespoon. I hit it with 2.5, just for good measure. All right, put the lid back on it. God, boy, this stuff smells like straight poopy poo. And what I do from here, just fill it up the rest of the way with water. All right. Make sure I look at, do I have enough in there? Might need a little bit more water. Make sure I got a full half gallon. Let's see, what's my marker? But without my glasses, here we go. Oh, still got a little bit more left. There we go. Be careful because you don't want to spill your mixture. And I know I shouldn't, or I don't need to explain this, guys, to you step by step, but I'm a visual learner. And this is what works for me. All right, so now that I have that full, have my mixture, this is my BT and my kaolin clay, I shake it up. Make sure I got a good blend and everything in there. And plus when I put the water in it, the water also helped mix it as well. So it should be good. But I'm just gonna make sure that make sure this is well shaken. Shaken, never stirred. And there you go, guys. This is what I call Claymore. Like that, don't you? Like I said, this right here is my BT. So what I'm gonna do with this is right here is gonna be strictly what I put on the coating for my tomatoes, because I wanna keep the hornworms off of them, protect them from sun scald, and also give them a coating because I know it's getting ready to get real hot. And I know if you guys heard the weather report here recently that we're supposed to be getting this thing called the heat dome, and it's supposed to be crazy hot. So when you got temperatures that's climbing into the hundreds, especially the way that my garden is set up and exposed, and it's going to be in the sun quite a bit, I want to make sure that I give it a little extra protection because this heat is unusual. Like I said, this works for me. It may not work for you. Try it in a small area first to see if it works, but I know for me that it works, guys. And like I said, so I hope that little tidbit helped you, like I said, and hopefully your garden to continue to grow. So if you guys like the content, please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you know whenever I'm getting ready to drop another video. And remember what my saying is, when you apply what you know, then you'll grow. Hey everybody, it's T Speller, and I'll holler at you later. Peace.